Hi everyone. In July of 2018, 3 of my hypnosis clients, while in hypnosis, began to channel. Now you may not know what channeling is, but it's been around forever. One of the more famous examples is the Oracle in Delphi, in what we call ancient Greece. In more modern times, among quite a few others, we have Esther Hicks channeling Abraham, Barbara Marciniak channeling the Pleiadians, and Daryl Anka channeling Bashar. These channelers all have websites, and all of them are featured many times on YouTube. So if you're not sure what channeling is, check out these sources, and you'll get a pretty fair idea. Now today, one of these 3 channeling clients is here to join me on the show. Her name is Karen Ashby, and she channels the Pleiadians. After I ask Karen a few questions, she'll then go into the altered state of consciousness where she can connect with the Pleiadians, and then I'll direct some questions to them. Karen, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Peter.
Well, it's a pleasure, and I think it would be helpful if you started perhaps by just giving us a little of your personal background, where you grew up, that sort of thing.
Well, I grew up in North York at Victoria Park in Lawrence, and went to Victoria Park High and then on to Trent University. I moved to Richmond Hill when my daughter was 6 and was a single mom at that point. And then she went off to university and the rest of her life, and I have been in Stouffville for about 14 years now.
And just recently you discovered you're a channeler. What's that
I
like?
did. That was really exciting. Peter, as you know, we started a hypnosis session, and in the middle of it, after asking me some questions about was I an ET, what do I know about ETs, all of a sudden it was we this and we that, and afterwards we said, oh my goodness. So Peter said, well, who are we talking to? And they said, we're the Pleiadians.
Yeah, it caught me totally off guard. Had I known, I would have had a long list of questions.
Which we've had ever since, right?
Yes, we've had a few sessions now. Well, Karen, I think for the benefit of our listeners at this point, maybe if you just go into trance, bring on the Pleiadians, and we'll go from there.
Hello there. We're glad to be here again.
You realize that you're on a podcast now, do you?
Oh, yes, we do. We've been listening.
Yes, you have a way of doing that. I don't know if our listeners appreciate this, but Karen and I usually sit down with pad and paper and orchestrate a few questions going into each session. And we probably don't have to, because just discussing them, the Pleiadians are usually listening in.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, for the benefit of our audience, would you please tell us a little about yourselves and why you're here?
We come from the star system of Pleiades, and we're very interested in the human species. We have been on this planet for a long time, and we're here to help. And now in this new transition time and this raising of consciousness on the earth, we want to make ourselves even better known than we have in the past.
What do you mean exactly by this transition time?
There has been for many years now a shift of consciousness, for the better we might add, that is working towards all of you being more united, not only with yourselves, in yourselves, but with others of your species and with the universe in general. And this shift is causing some fairly disastrous earth changes, as you would view it, which is necessary for a clearing, because Mother Gaia has let herself be known. She does not like some of what is happening, and in order to clear herself, she has created these scenarios. So we would say that there are many, not just Pleiadians, but there are many other species, ETs, if you will, star people, that are here to assist you humans on this path of higher consciousness.
This shift towards higher consciousness, that's going on with humans. I understand it's also going on with the Earth herself. Is that correct?
Yes. This is what we were referring to with the shift of the axis and climatic change. It is not all created by humans, although a lot of it is, so you must be diligent in how you treat her from here on in. And of course, there will always be those that do not care in the least. But it is something that was inevitable whether you orchestrated part or not.
Mm-hmm. And some of these storms and what we might call disasters, that's not a vindictive thing on the part of the Earth particularly. It's more she's clearing herself of some of that stuff.
Absolutely correct. It is a cleansing that is necessary, just as when you feel that you are not clean in the body, you get into a shower or bath. It is necessary that this happens so that the old falls away and the new can create itself.
Mm-hmm. Well, as humans then are going through kind of an evolution in expanding their consciousness, as you see it, what is our biggest challenge or impediment to that process?
You yourselves, your mind. Your minds and your ego have too much to say, and you allow your ego to overtake in almost everything that you do. It is a very difficult thing for you humans to understand how to put the ego behind you. And we say, as you say, get thee behind me, Satan. Your ego is, in that sense, an evil aspect. Not that it isn't necessary, but when it overtakes the goodness of your heart and what you would otherwise be creating, this is not what we wish for you.
Mm-hmm. Now, as a channeler, Karen is going to be putting on some public events, and she's going to be doing some private counseling. The kind of questions that come up in these events seem to range through things like career, relationships, health. But as an example of the kind of question that you're likely to get, one comes to my mind immediately, and maybe I could ask it in a general way by asking, what is it generally that contributes to human diseases?
Again, we say the mind. The emotions are a very, very strong thing in the human species. They're a very confusing thing. We don't even understand them. And we have tried over the time that we have been here, which has been a very long time. It is important for you to try and get in touch with your emotions in the sense that you not just necessarily control them, but that you understand where they're coming from and how to react, shall we say, to them. So if you can get your negative, as you say, although there really is no such thing, your bad emotions, if you will, out of the picture, or at least put them aside, then it will be much easier for you to stay healthy. There are a lot of word patterns and belief systems, many of which you come in with at birth and that you've brought with you from other lifetimes, that need to be worked on when you're on the spiritual path. And if these can be cleared or at least somewhat lessened, this will greatly help you with your physical health.
Good, thank you for that. With an eye on the clock here, maybe by way of wrap-up, do you have any final words that you think or you would like to leave our audience with?
We are delighted to be able to be doing this with you right now, Peter, and we would ask that those of you who are interested, please to follow through, whether it be reading books, not just on Pleiadians, but on any kind of star people and those on the other side, as we call ourselves, that are here to help the human species at this time. Anything that you can do to further your spirituality, to be with like-minded people, to be in that community, to be in nature, to eat well, to do all those good things that help you along the path is indeed important, because as each one of us become more clear in our path and in our channels of spirituality, we will reverberate that many, many times onto those who are not as far along, and it does not make them less than, it just makes them in a different place. So we would say, please carry on. We are here to help. If we can do any of that on a personal level or a group level, please feel free to contact us, and we do love what you are doing for yourselves and for the planet, and please continue.
Well, thank you very much for that. Time is up, but there will be events and opportunities for people to ask those questions. Well, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you very much, and we're delighted to be here again, as we say. So until next time.
Over and out.
Over and out.
Karen, you're back. How do you feel?
Great. It's always great to be with the Pleiadians.
Yeah.
They're very uplifting.
Good. Good. Now, if people want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Personally, they can get in touch with me by my email at kashby@rogers.com, or also my cell phone, 416-560-3717. Or they can go to CATA and see what else is coming up. We're going to have some more sessions in January, hopefully the first whatever of every month, so that you know that it's going to be a regular thing. So you can always be in touch with CATA as well.
Good. CATA is the Canadian Academy of Therapeutic Arts.
That's right.
It's in Richmond Hill, and it's a great place to be.
It is a great place to be. It's wonderful energy there, so we dearly love it.
Good. Well, thank you very much for being on the program.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.
Well, folks, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll come back for some more. You can download and or listen to this podcast or any of the other 36 or so by going to my website at www.peterhdennis.com. Once there, if you click on the podcast tab, you will see section number 2, where you can click on the channeler's name and then listen or download from there. Well, that's it, folks. Until next time, be uplifting for someone and expand your own consciousness. Bye for now.